Well, hello, everyone. This is Deidre Kindred, your nurse advocate, educator, and navigator here on Health Chats Among Friends. And tonight I get the true pleasure of talking to my good friend, Rozlyne Neal, who is the owner of Captivating Style. And I'm super excited to talk about her business and who she is and her why. So, Rozlyne, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who is Rozlyne Neal.
Hello, my name is Rozlyn Neal. I am the owner and operator of Captivating Style. I am a service organization that specializes in assisting individuals who are transitioning from independent living to living with a family member or even going into a medical facility for medical care. It started out as just an event planning organization, and due to life circumstances, I got into the medical field. So I figured a way to combine my passion and my purpose, and that's what Captivating Style is.
Wow, that's awesome. So I'd like to delve in a little bit more because you're more than an event planning or decorator or coordinator. This is an awesome service. So why did you choose this avenue?
Well, after the loss of my mother, it was unexpected. So after her loss, I've become my father's caregiver. And I know that it's been a transition for him. It was a transition for him. We're still transitioning. He became an amputee after my mother passed away. And so with that, I ended up having to care for him. So going into the long-term care facilities, I got an opportunity to experience firsthand what it's like to need care. I also got a chance to experience what it's like having to transition and make adjustments for a change in lifestyle. So with those two things, I came up with Captivating Style, or I merged my company. I didn't have it focused on primarily events and decorating. It now became a medical needs organization.
Right, right. So when I first met you, I was so intrigued because, when people have a transition in life going from their private home to an assisted living or a memory care unit or a independent living, sometimes the apartments are just the same. There's a term for it, but everybody has the same structure in their apartment. And
Right.
what I found so intriguing about your service is that captivating their style is all about capturing who that person is, and you decorate their rooms to who they are. It's just so amazing to me. I get excited because you don't want to lose your independence and
Correct.
you want to take a part of you if you do have to transition. So let's talk a
Right.
little bit about that. What would you do, or how do you know, walk me through a typical client that you would have?
Okay, so a typical client would be an individual with medical needs. It doesn't necessarily have to be a geriatric patient. It might be a young person who was independent living and they had an accident and suffered trauma. So now they're having to go from living alone independently to living with a loved one. So what I would do would be to come into the home, take a look around, see what the person's lifestyle was like, the things that they were into. And based on those things, I would go and decorate their new space and make it feasible for them. So if they had any sort of medical equipment, I would make sure that the space is suitable for their new way of living.
Right, right. So that could be for college students as well, couldn't it? Like
Yes,
they're going
ma'am.
to stay in their dorm and
Yes,
they just
ma'am.
don't have like me, I don't have a clue about decorating. So if I was transitioning, I would want to take a piece of me, whatever age I am, because I wish the audience could see the beautiful room that you had shown an example of the lady. Can you share that story a little bit about what her background was and how you changed her environment to be so her?
Well, thank you. Yes, ma'am. So I had a client who had lost her mother and her grandmother. Her grandmother would teach her grandchildren a scripture all the time. Is it the same scripture, Psalms 91, throughout their entire lives? So it was something that connected her with her grandmother. So I focused my decor around that room. She wanted, or around that scripture, she wanted peace and tranquility. And so that's what I came in and I did for her. And we had the soft colors and the just a very calm and relaxing environment. And that scripture was featured in that room. So every time she went into that room, it was a sense of nostalgia as well as a sense of peace. So that's really what I aim to do, is just to make sure that whoever room it is, they are at peace and they're comfortable, and they know that it's their space. You know, it's kind of hard when you're transitioning from your own into someone else's. It's hard for the person that's transitioning, but it's also hard for the individual that's welcoming as well. So my job is to try to blend both, to keep everyone satisfied, everyone comfortable, and that's my key. That's the goal.
That's a that's a wonderful niche, because
Thank you.
I've been in many, 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 many assisted livings, independent livings, and things like that. And everybody's so the same, their apartments
Right,
or their rooms or whatever, because they have to furnish it with the same, just be broad across the
right,
community,
right.
right? But then when you can walk into someone's and it's theirs, because you've caught who the essence of who they are. I like that. The essence of who
Yes,
they are. So it sounds to me like you get very individualized um, decorating,
yes,
um,
ma'am.
um,
Yes,
to
ma'am.
capture who that person is. Your name
Absolutely.
of your business captures everything. I love the name
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
everybody
Yes,
has their own
ma'am.
type. Everybody has their own style,
Absolutely. And that's
right?
the point. You know, we're none of us are cookie cutter images of each other. Just like snowflakes, just like fingerprints, we are all individual, and there will never, ever be another one of us. So when you consider styling, you have to take all of those things into consideration. So,
And I think, like you mentioned, nostalgia. I think especially for people who are going into like a memory care unit, and
yes,
say they had a history of being a teacher or a history of being a doctor or whatever it may be, you can capture that and they can walk into their room and it can trigger some memories, you
yes,
know?
absolutely,
I think that's
absolutely.
key.
It is. And with everything that happened with my life, I became a CNA. So I got an opportunity to see things from a medical perspective as well. So I'm not just some decorator that's just going to come in, take some pictures, throw them up. I understand medical needs and the way that the medical process works for a lot of people. Um, Working at an extended care facility, I
Mhm.
got an opportunity to meet residents who actually live there in long-term care. So that was their home, you know. So, and some people are forgotten, unfortunately. But the key is just to give them a sense of self that they can continue to have even once they transition on to the next part of
Level.
life,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. It's just a constant transition, a constant evolution. Even if a person has me come out and I decorate for their loved one, and then some things change and they transition, even helping them prepare for the transition is another element that I'm thinking about considering with my business as well. So there's just a lot. I just want to be of service to someone, to anyone.
That's
So
beautiful.
thank
That's
you.
beautiful. I like that
Thank you.
because, it's hard. You live all your life because people don't look at it like that when they're in their stage of life. It's just so
Right.
funny. When I was in my 20s, I was going somewhere with my mom and I was getting frustrated by people driving. And I said, oh, when people turn 35, they need to have I know it all, right? when they turn 35, they need to have driver's license. They need to go and do their test and this and this and that. Yeah. So it was so funny. My mother was so smart because she came back around when I turned 35. She said, Deidre, you gonna go get your driving test? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't need to go get no driving test. She says, oh, well, I remember when you said.
Right, right. Right,
So,
exactly.
just thinking about the future, as we get older, it's just like, you still have value. You
Absolutely.
still have something that you can give, you something that you have
Absolutely.
contributed to this world, and to walk into a room that's you would make the transition easier, not all the way free from ease, because there's
Right.
nothing like losing your independence or your sense of
Absolutely.
self. So
Absolutely.
I love the psychological part of your business
Thank you.
because you thought about that, and to walk into a room and you see walkers and wheelchairs, and it can be depressing to that person who's in that room.
Absolutely.
But if they have a
Absolutely.
sense of self, that's so different.
It is. It
Yeah.
makes a difference. It
Mhm.
makes a difference. And I want to cater to the whole person. That's the thing, is catering to the whole person. And it's not just the person that's transitioning, it's the family as well.
Good point.
There are things, when you have to transition and you're welcoming your elderly parent into your home, well, your flow sometimes is interrupted. A lot of times it's interrupted,
Right.
so you have to make space. So with that being said, I have people that I can contact, and we can change a person's actual space, hiring contractors to come. If we need to create a wing for just that person to be, alone, because sometimes there are children involved, and children sometimes don't understand why grandpa has to have these things for him, so that's another element too. It's just really, it depends on what all a person needs. It doesn't even necessarily have to be transitioning. I have some clients that are seniors, and they need assistance with organizing their space, getting rid of some of the things that they have accumulated over the years.
That's hard.
Organization, all of that. Just
Right.
because whenever you transition and you make your final transition, you want that to be easy for your family as well. You don't want that to be an added burden or job that they would have to deal with, cleaning up, cleaning out, organizing your home. There's a lot. There are a lot of elements to my organization, and I'm very proud. And it's a process. Every day it's something new. I'm learning something new. I'm finding different avenues, meeting different people. It's been a beautiful journey.
Oh my goodness. It is such an amazing, wonderful service. I am wishing you
Thank
the
you.
best. If there's anybody that is thinking about moving or transitioning to another level of life, whether it's college, seniors, people, when I say seniors, I'm talking about people who are transitioning to um, maybe a home, a different home, or just a house. Maybe you're moving from
Right.
to another house. It is well worth their time to contact you. You are just so amazing with your
Thank you.
insight into their psyche. I love it. I love it. You're thinking about the whole person and the whole family.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
So, my question of the hour is, if someone wanted to find out more about who is Rozlyne Neal, the services that she provides through her amazing company, Captivating Style, how would you prefer them to get in touch with you?
Can be reached via telephone or email. My telephone number is 682-521-7148. Again, that's 682-521-7148. And then I can also be reached via email, and it's going to be captive, CAPTIV .style, STYLE, at gmail.com. Sorry, yes, captive.style@gmail.com. Again, that's CAPTIV.STYLE@gmail.com.
Amazing, amazing. I love it. So I'm so happy for you. I am excited about your journey and what you're doing for people. And thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time.
Yes, no problem. I love it. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Health Chats Among Friends. My name is Deidre Kindred. I'm a nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. And I love bringing you reputable resources from our local communities. Tune in next time for an amazing chat. Thank you.